So I'm going to tell a story. So last night I was sitting in the parking lot at one of my child's activities. I won't say where, but it's a place that I go frequently. So I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting for her, and I have the windows down, and I'm just I think I was listening to a TED Talk or something. And all of a sudden my car shook and I heard a loud noise. So I'm like, okay, great. I look to my right and I see a large Tahoe, and I see a woman getting out of the back driver's side seat, and she's holding a baby. So I'm like, okay, she hit my car with her door. It's fine. She's gonna say something. It happens. She's gonna apologize. We're good. So I look at her. She looks back at me with a blank stare and then proceeds to get into her car. And so I'm like, okay, this cannot be happening, because this exact same thing happened last year with the same person in the same way. So I'm like, really? So this person has no personal accountability. Okay, cool. So I get out of my car and I walk around, go to this side, and I want to check out the damage because, like I said, she hit my car so hard that it shook. As I'm looking at it, she says, I don't know if that was from me. And so I respond with, it's definitely from you. You just hit my car so hard that it shook. And she just goes off, sorry. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I take the high road and I get back in my car and I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, I cannot believe that she did this last year and the same thing, shook my car, looked at me, said nothing, and got back in her car like nothing ever happened. And I can't believe she just did it again. Both times, by the way, she took a chunk out, and I think this time she actually dented my car. So there's paint gone, and I think the metal's dented. And it's a tiny little spot, and I totally, would not care had this been someone who even, vaguely apologized. But I didn't get any kind of sincere apology from her whatsoever. In fact, I felt like more than anything, I got attitude because she hit my car. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, no, you know what? This is not okay. So I get out and I take pictures of the damage, and then I take pictures of her license plate, and then I take pictures of how we're parked to show how far away from her I was. There was no need for her to slam her freaking car door into my car. She had plenty of space. Again, I understand accidents happen, especially when you're dealing with small children, but you need to say sorry and take accountability. So I take pictures and then I go back and I sit in my car and I'm looking at my insurance coverage to try to figure out how to claim it, and even if I want to claim it, because I don't necessarily want to start a claim for collision, but I will if I have to. So I'm sitting here and her son gets up out of the car and runs inside, I guess to go tell her that I was taking pictures. So not even 3 minutes later, she comes out and comes to my window, and I roll the window down and she says, "Are you super upset about this or something?" And I said, "Oh, I'm not super upset, but I am going to file a claim because there's damage to my car." "Oh, well," she says, "well, I feel like you're blowing this way out of proportion." And I said, "Well, okay, I don't think that I'm blowing this out of proportion because you did this last year. In fact, the same thing happened. You hit my car, you said nothing, and you just stared at me and got back in your car. And you just did it again now." She goes, "Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I hit your car before. I'm sorry. I was holding my baby. I'm sorry." And so I responded with, "Okay, I understand accidents happen, but, I care about my car and I take care of my car, so I'm going to file a claim to repair the damage." And again, she responds with, "Well, I feel like you're just blowing this way out of proportion. I mean, it's... I was holding my baby," and she's just talking in circles, okay? It's at this point that I realized that A, this person doesn't know how to take accountability for their actions. B, she was trying to either bully or intimidate me into dropping it and not filing a claim for whatever reason. Probably because she hits people's cars all the damn time and her insurance is through the roof. So, sorry, I have a call and I got distracted. Ignore. So she goes, okay, well, do you mind if I walk around and take a look at the damage and just open my car door to make sure that was from me? And I was like, go right ahead. And I roll my window back up. I'm thinking she's gonna see it, she's gonna realize she was in the wrong, and she's gonna go back inside. So she goes and looks at it, comes back around, I roll my window down, and she says, well, there is a small mark from the door, but I just really think that this is being blown way out of proportion. And so it's at this point that I realize that this shit's going nowhere. And I'm like, okay, well, I understand, but this is why insurance exists. So, okay, we're done here. Bye-bye. And I roll up my window while she's still jabbering away. And of course, this infuriates her. So she and takes her baby and goes back inside. Moral of this whole story is, don't be a fucking asshole. Accidents happen. I understand that, yes, you're going to hit somebody's car with your car door occasionally, but don't be a dick and act like it didn't happen, especially when the other person is sitting in their car, can hear, feel, and see you do it. So there was a witness to this all, by the way. There was a guy sitting in the car next to me, and he had his windows down, heard and saw the entire thing, and after she went back inside, he was like, oh, I love the way that you handled that whole situation. And I was like, yeah, well, I don't know what she was thinking she was going to accomplish by trying to tell me I was overreacting. But no, I'm definitely filing a claim. She's done this before. 2 times when I've been sitting in the car, and probably more times when I wasn't sitting in the car to see it, judging by how many dings are on my freaking car. I preach a lot about being kind to others and, treating people the way that you want to be treated. And I just cannot wrap my mind around how you could possibly think that it's okay to slam a car door into someone else's car and look at that person looking back at you like the fuck and act like nothing happened. I'm sorry, but ma'am, you just decided how I was going to treat you, and that is why I decided to file a claim. I hope to God your kids don't grow up like that, like they don't grow up to be like you, because holy crap, some therapy is going to be needed. So when you encounter people like this, yeah, don't let them get you going. This woman was trying to intimidate or bully me. I don't know which one. She was talking in circles, trying to tell me that I was overreacting. Okay, listen. If you can't take personal accountability, that means that if something happens, you have to blame it on someone else. Well, she was blaming it on the fact that she was holding her kid. Okay, fine. But almost seemed pissed that I was upset that my car got hit. You're going to get mad at me because you hit my car. Ma'am, I don't think so. The best way to handle these people is to listen to what they're saying, remain calm, don't raise your voice, and acknowledge that you hear what they're saying and try to move the conversation forward. So while I was talking to her, or really listening to her ramble, and she kept on saying that we were blowing this out of proportion, blah, 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 I just very calmly, okay, yes, I understand, but I'm going to file a claim. So I just stated over and over again, I understood how she was feeling. Doesn't mean that I agree with the way that she was feeling, but I was still going to do the right thing in my eyes, which would be to repair my car. So if you just keep stating the facts and not emotions, stating the facts and moving the conversation forward, it just fucking drives them crazy. Like, she was steaming that I would not engage. She was almost appalled that I rolled the window up on her when she was talking to me. And to me, it's just like Mel Robbins said in her podcast the other week. These people are, if you just picture them throwing their little tantrum in their own little world, picture like a snow globe where you shake it up and there's snow everywhere and there's like a scene, there's a beautiful ballerina or a snowman, and you're shaking it up and the snow's going all over the place, but it's contained in a globe. I just pictured this woman throwing her little tantrum in her snow globe, and the rest of the world is the problem, but I'm not. And it's just humorous to me. But the whole point of the story is, yes, be kind to others, give grace, realize mistakes happen. Yes, do all of those things. But also stand up for yourself, and don't let people treat you like dirt. Don't let people try to tell you that you are in the wrong because you want to get your car fixed after they damaged it. And finally, if the conversation is going nowhere and you are unable to just turn around and walk away, roll up your car window. That'll shut them up.